He's a young man who is looking for the betterment of India and its youth. His work is focused on providing quality education to the youth of India for free. Jay Sadana is the founder and CEO of Script Foundation. Talking a bit about Script Foundation, it is a non-profit organization that aims to provide quality education to the students who are unable to get quality education in these toughest times. In today's episode, let us get Jay's insights on the journey of Script Foundation, what motivated him to start a not-for-profit venture with such a noble intent. This is the Guiding Voice podcast, TGV, for a better future. This podcast is to help professional students, IT employees, and entrepreneurs to shape their careers. So, folks, if you have tuned into our podcast for the first time, you have missed a lot of stuff, but don't worry. All our previous episodes are available on your favorite podcast listening platforms and also on YouTube. Also, if you have not rated our podcast on Apple, please provide your rating and leave a candid review, because every constructive feedback will be taken in a positive way and you will see us grow. And in addition to that, every rating and review will motivate us to bring in more and more useful content to you. This is your host, Naveensamala, and I have about 18 years of rich and diverse experience in the IT world. In every episode, we interact with industry experts or thought leaders or academicians or coaches across the globe to drive some insightful conversations that will help our audience learn some amazing stuff. Also, we share an interesting trivia or a fun fact towards the end. So, folks, you will acquire more knowledge for every minute by tuning into TGV than any other podcast in this space. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we're pleased to have Jay part of TGV's journey in shaping the careers and lives of millions across the globe. Jay, welcome to TGV.
Thank you.
All right. So, Jay, let's get into our conversation. You have established Script Foundation and you have such a noble intent of providing quality education for free to the youth. So, can we briefly talk about your career journey and top 3 things that have helped you so far?
So, okay, let me start. I take my career journey as my life journey. Okay. How I started and all. Okay. To be frank, I started script at the age of 19 years when I just passed out from a school, and then I just saw some communities. Earlier script was not an organization or a foundation. We started as a community, like a normal concept to provide normal community events are happening. Okay. But sooner and sooner, from Delhi to Punjab, from Punjab to J&K, from there to Chennai, from there to Kolkata, slowly it started increasing. And then we started turning that community into one organization. No one knows actually this thing is when I started at the age of 19, people think that I am right now at the age of 26 right now. People think, but I am at the age of 22 right now. I'm an undergrad right now. People think I'm what I'm doing. They think I'm 25, 26. I think what you're saying. I publicly socialized everything which is there. I'm doing a bachelor's. I'm doing a master's. This is my things that I've achieved so far. But when they talk, I said why you are saying me sir, help me in this job. Sir, help me in that job. I think why you are saying me, sir, where I am stand with you. Okay, at your age when you started something as your journey, okay, and when I started something to begin something, why you are saying me, sir? Just call me my name, call me anything. Why you saying some students say in a feedback that I've got sir, help me in DSA. I said, help me in DSA. What should I help? So there's some common questions in IT. IT is vast industry, as we know. So as we go through in a very long journey, so after every year we get some new technologies, new fundamentals are coming. Early we have DSM, CP, combinative programming, but soon emerge as machine learning, deep learning concepts, then artificial intelligence. So these kind of concepts are coming. I started a concept of this as a community, providing the insights of the IT, only technology focused in the starting. Okay. In my career journey, if I say, the first thing that helped me is the network. Network helped most important thing that I tell everyone. Because if you don't have network, you can't do anything. Your network building is the most. So let me tell you one case. So you might be doing Dayfest, like the Google organizes the GTG. So Dayfest Delhi organized one Dayfest like in 2019 when I started. Before that, there was one meetup of GTG where I go. Like I just had a word with someone. Like he was some GDG organizer, like in some finance sector kind of thing. I had a word, what I've started, a community and all. So we said only one thing: building a team is the highest challenge to build solution in a startup. I thought like it was a joke, like what you said. But when I started making a team, so there were a lot of barriers, A to Z. Like if we say emotional intelligence or the organization behavior, we get to know like how other is reacting, how he's working, what is the attitude of working. Okay, a lot of have a good attitude, a lot of have a bad attitude, but I was considering a good attitude person, like people. When I met on GTG Dayfest, so I had a word with him and I said that because of you, I established 5 to 6 chapters in India with across 100 plus members within 6 months. So this was happened. Like this is the most vast journey that we have done. After this in my career journey, this was first you can say the stepping stone that I had. After that, my next stepping stone was to come into action by building that community into an organization. When I started the second stone, you can say the problem. The major problem was like in a community, like I'm giving the insights. But the main problem in the current situation in the COVID pandemic, if I say, is like if anyone wants to learn something, they can go to YouTube, they can go to Coursera, they can go anywhere. But I think why you are spending that much amount of money in which you can get into free or you can get into some paid kind of stuff at very low price. If I do like I don't want to name the companies and all, but as you all know, like if I go with DSA, if I go with anyone, like contents are freely available. Okay. But students don't have the right decision and the path where to select and what to select. So this was the main focus behind the script that I started. Slowly by slowly, the second I can say the career. Like first was the networking. Second was the team building. The perfect team that I had. Okay, the perfect attitude of team helped me to achieve the goals. So if they were doing a lot of good work, I give them appraisals. Appraisals in form of you can say achievements. They like mostly like gift backs. Students. They say like if I've done some good work, give me some appraisal. I say like what kind of appraisal? Okay. So I just start sending some swag kits to them as a appraisal from script, like of a good and hard working work. And my third point in my career changed when I started a product. When I started Skip, there was one vision that I need to make a product, profitable product, you can say, but it should not, it should generate profits, but at the other end, it should give the quality of content. And from the last 2 years, we were working on this product, and finally, this product was launched, and we are having a grand launch on the swap ceremony on 1st of December, in which, like, we are only here to provide the quality education. And what we have decided is like, if a user is coming and he's just taking a membership, okay, so over there he if he's paying 350 for a month, he's getting unlimited courses over there. So our main focus is the per course enrollment fees is less than 20 rupees. If we go with Netflix, okay, what Netflix has a model? Netflix has the same model. Membership basis, you pay 500, you get 1 lakh plus content. So the 1 lakh content, for example, if I pay 500, then you can divide 1 lakh divided by 500. Then you can get the value of one content. So that was my main model that we have implemented in this. The more courses we will be adding, the cost of course will be decreasing. So these are three main challenges that we have done in script, and then like a lot of barriers will be coming as we like started a new project like which have just completed, in which we have e-learning as well and e-commerce as well in form of reward store. Like for example, in case we have a student who has enrolled, he has or she has just opt for a 30 days trial. We are opting for a 1 year 30 days trial for the students. Go learn whatever you want over there. They are learning some things, and after that they'll be giving some certification exams. In that certification exam, the questions will be related to the interviewer asked, so that they should know what actually and how to crack such kind of interviews. When we just like a user just on the certification thing, he will earn some points. Okay, it is like some kind of silly product. If you think it's some kind of award points, like for example, if he passes 60 or 80% in the exam, he will get 100 points. Okay, and that 100 points is a cash in our platform. For example, credit. If you pay something, that credit will convert into credit coins. Right, the same thing. If you are clearing the certification, you will get some coins, award coins. As for now, we have named, but soon we name something good in the coin, something funny name, so that people should remind in their minds what I should like speak. And when they open the reward store, there will be points will be coming that he has earned so far, and he can unlock whatever he want to do. For example, he needs a custom mug. He ordered a custom mug. We delivered him a custom mug with his full name. If he ordered a t-shirt, he ordered a hoodie. If you ordered some vouchers, Amazon vouchers, lot of things will be there. So this is the only concept. Learn from the learnings and earn from it.
Wow, very interesting. Like I think you guys are gamifying it and converting the rewards of their choice. Very nice. Very interesting.
Yes.
Excellent. So let's talk more about Script Foundation. Like you said, it all started with knowledge sharing as a main intent. And you came across somebody in the Dayfest and you took it as a challenge, and now you have how many chapters? 6 chapters.
Oh, chapters now there are like 15 plus chapters are there across India.
Okay.
But I'm not focusing on chapters, I'm focusing on value now. Okay. Because chapters are only like for the students, but I think doing these kind of programs will give greater reach than creating small sub chapters. Because if I'm doing these kind of programs, okay, so students are getting about us and more. Okay, which are benefiting them, because in chapters they do meetups, they do like very frequently based on their time convenience. So what we have decided to convert those chapters into programs.
Okay, got it. So what
and
all
use them as a movement target.
Yeah, sorry. What are programs? Can you name a few programs that you guys are conducting as part of Script Foundation?
So first we have our Try On Bootcamp. Okay, try means three-track bootcamp. First is conference, workshops, and tech talks. Not TED talks, tech talks. People confuse it tech and TED. So in TED talks we invite motivational speakers. They tell you how and what it can help you in the journey. And conferences and workshops are there. First is this program. Second is we have the SWOC thing, Script Printer of Code. And the next is we have community awards. We have seen like nowadays communities have emerged in code. Earlier communities are very less. Now they're like in every city, every state, we have a lot of communities across the globe. Okay. And we appreciate the community activities and we give them awards like Community of the Year. Like these kind of awards we have started to praise them. Okay. The hard work that they're doing.
Yeah.
Next, what we have started is Script Fellowship Program. A lot of people say that I need to go with fellowship, I need to start a fellowship. Then we started a fellowship program with some of the premium projects that we are working on. Like as I said about the project earlier that we are launching on first. This was also a dummy part we have added in which they can go through with it how actual industry perception works. Because people think like having a knowledge is not the thing. How to implement it in a larger and wider scale, that's important. So that's why we started fellowship program. There will be one more program that will be launching on around June or July. That is Script Summer of Code, first edition. Like after getting a huge response from the SWOC, I've decided personally to start the Summer of Code now, because this time, like if I say the traction part of the Printer of Code, so it has grabbed. Like in the earlier, we only get the like registrations from India, but this time we get registrations from India, UK, US, Europe, Brazil, Russia, Romania, Australia, like a lot of countries were there. So I think this is a huge jump from only a single country to having 20 plus countries or 15 plus countries this time. Okay.
Wow.
So then I started, let's have summer code as well. Because then we have to go with other summer of codes. If I say Google summer of code, there are a lot of foundations having their own summer of codes. Okay. So we'll be making schedule which should not clash their date, their timeline. Else the market will get distributed. Because students have to take the opportunity. I think we should not distribute the market. For example, Google is having from this to this month. I'm starting from this to that month. And after 2-3 months, we are having a winter of code again. So this is the whole format that I'm making. How the summer and winter codes will be happening on the same year, and how we have to approach to the partners which have like done. And if I say in the, like I've not told in the earlier. So when I started Script in 2019, I approached with many companies to partner with. Okay, as a form of freebies, you can say there is a like concept of freebies. When you give something free to a user, he thank you, and from that it gives something rich. So I just contacted CB, like you might be in the coding blocks. So I just contacted them. We had a partnership with them. Like now it's over. Like we ended as the partnership with a 1 year plus 1 year, 2 years the partnership. After that, we done some hackathons, and from there I gain a trust with two major IT companies, which are right now current partner of Script. It's like also there on the website. You might be knowing company Ripple IT.
Yeah.
So it's a company where like okay, let me give for the users if they don't know. So Ripple IT is a platform from where it's like code-based cloud editor. You can just code and save it. So normally what we do in Visual Studio, any code editor, it save in your local desktop or local hard disk. But in Rebellion, it will save in your cloud from anywhere, anytime you can access. So they opt as a partner and giving 1 month, 3 month free plans to unlimited users. And second was a domain partner, .xyz
Yeah.
domains. The main official .xyz, no GoDaddy, no official .xyz branding manager, like I approached as one of the products in Hackathon that we are also making. Like there's one product that we are making for free to organize hackathons. Hackovate. Hack means hackathon, OV means innovation, and it means infinity. So through this, we get these two companies. So that will be coming soon in 2021 or 22, because we are doing some lot of new things we are implementing, like in React, Monstack, PHP, MongoDB, a lot of things we are implementing it. Okay. So through this, we also get XYZ as a partner, in which they're giving free unlimited domains to users for 1 year. Whatever website you want to host, you can host. Plus free the website builder.
Oh, nice.
For the whole year. Means two things they are giving. Plus the security and everything, the feature. So this is how we opt with few partners, and few will be coming soon. We are having some dealings, how it can benefit the student community, how students can opt, how it can benefit you, how it can benefit us. So these kind of things we are having with like everyone. So yeah, this is the main whole journey I can say for Script.
Very inspiring journey. And let's talk briefly about the problems. Okay, you initially you said you actually started with the purpose of providing free and quality education, right? That is one problem which you're trying to solve. In addition to that, are there any other problems?
So the earlier I had only one, like you can say, the perspective that free education is the only way to provide the quality education. But when I start doing survey or taking some feedback, what I have seen is like when a student is trying to say, he says that if it's free or it's paid, I need to take some quality education which can help me in my journey of my life or of my job life. Because see, everyone is here to do a job, start a startup, and everyone wants to learn something in a more unique way. Either it's free, either it's paid. So when I had a word with many students as a feedback before starting the this product about the edtech one, so many like say that we learn from YouTube. I said okay, what else? They say that we also learn from Udemy. When they say Udemy, I said okay. When they say I also learn from Coursera, and you also know Coursera is a paid platform. They take monthly charges for a single course. So Then I thought student is willing to pay, but where? That where question is the problem. That where helped me to find why student is paying to that kind of product or that kind of, you can say, a platform where he's getting a solution which is very expensive in the COVID times. Okay, because in the COVID times they have got everything. Like everything has changed into online. Earlier, online educations are like very not very common. It's like very rare thing. People say that let's go to offline. We'll be having networking, we'll having fun, and what they say we'll be getting food. The most important thing they say like what we do like when we have some meetups. So in those meetups, we like had about Domino's at that time. So we ordered a lot of Domino's stuff. People think like, let's go there, let's hang up, let's learn something, and let's eat some Domino's. I said, what? Are you coming to learn something? Are you learning? Or are you like coming to take some Domino's over there? Like it's a very like strange thing. Like I'd done in Bangalore and a lot of things. Then I got to know a new student perspective. Like they want to come and do some networking and to learn. Okay, and the as I said, like how we have gone through the where question. That was the main problem that I always say. Like in this entrepreneurship journey or the startup journey, what we say only one thing, like how, when, where.
Yeah.
If we have the three questions, answers of the three questions, we can make anything possible.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Now let's talk
So,
briefly about challenges that you have come across.
okay,
Starting this.
challenges.
Yeah.
Okay, so I take challenges as my barriers because barriers can help us to improve ourselves, to like what to say, give the practical exposure, how to start with. Okay, challenges. First challenge was creating a team. The most important challenge that I studied in the starting. Creating a team was the first challenge that I've done, like achieved so far. And till now, I'm just making a correct because finding the correct person. Because I think if I have 500 applications or 500 people in front of me, there will be at least two or three people who I can think are their perception is in a good positive way.
Mhm.
So I think in this way, I don't think like I have 500 people, no one is good, get lost. No, I think like if I'm getting 1,000 applications, I think in this 10 or 20 people, if I take correct applications with correct experience and correct, you can say the interest, that will get the main, what do you say, the team conception will be able to solve. Next comes with how I started my chapters. No one knows this. People say that I had done some paid marketing. People said that I have networking. No, I don't have no network, no paid marketing. The strategy was to outreach the community anywhere possible. So how I outreach the community? I outreach on community groups, Facebook developer circles, Pi Data, Pi Daily, these kind of groups. I'm just giving an example. These are not getting the actual groups. These are like some normal thing, but I mainly do all the outreach from Meetup app. Joined a group which I think have a good interest, and I just wrote one message over there because in Meetup there is one thing that they do, like whenever a person posts a discussion, the all the members who are a part of that, they will get a mail from Meetup that someone started a discussion. So I thought that it's a free marketing from me, I don't need to mail them, I'm getting for free. I made a message, we are starting an open source community, name a script, like interested to join, something like this, we write. And I started doing messaging here and there and there and there. And then I thought like I'm not good. Then I get it responses. Some people say delete it. They delete it, okay. So many things happen. Someone said like delete it. It's not a good thing. I said like why? It's like I'm starting something for free. So why I should not post? Because Meetup is like a paid platform. You need to pay for 6 months or a year
Yeah.
as an organizer, but as a user, it's a free. So it was a marketing that no one knows like how we started chapters. First I started in Punjab. Then in Punjab, like Delhi was the initial one. Then we started at Chandigarh and Punjab side. Then we started in South, Bangalore, then Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai, JNK. JNK was the most interesting part. Because Jammu is where like people want to grow, but they don't know how to like go and search for the real talent. That was the most interesting challenge that I have gone through in Jammu side. Like over the universities, they know about IT, but they don't know about such common concepts. Like if someone is interested in machine learning, so due to the challenges that are happening in that state, it made them difficult for them to take the correct path. So that was a very interesting challenge that I've taken Jammu as well. But now I have the Jammu market as well, little bit. Now I will be having my next market as a Ladakh. That's the most toughest part. Because Ladakh is where I don't have no connections. But Ladakh has also some university market. But how to approach that I'm just thinking of how to approach Ladakh as a market perspective. So these were like the most common challenges that I have done. Like from creating a team, from starting chapters, from creating a product that I've told earlier.
Yeah.
And the gamified you have said the product, and from the current barriers which are going on, like starting a program, making outreach, hiring interns, making interns something special, why they are important in the
Yeah.
organization. So a lot of barriers are right now also going on. Some are solved, some are will be also coming. I have started, but there will be more barriers will be coming in that as
I
I am
get it.
starting a product
Yeah.
in form of traction, if I say in form of user experience, in form of feedbacks, in form of questionnaires. A lot of things will be coming that I'm ready with. I know that a market gives two sides of coins. One is positive, one is negative. I'm here. You give, if it's positive, I will go in positive coin. Else I will go in negative coin, and I will take those feedbacks and convert those negative part into positive. A lot
Awesome.
of barriers that I'm.
Yeah, it seems you are successfully overcoming all those challenges and expanding your wings across India. And one thing that resonated with me is you are extremely passionate about this particular community, and I'm very glad to see that you have participation from different countries now, and it is going to grow leaps and bounds. Very interesting stuff so far.
Yes.
So, Jai, let's shift gears and slightly talk about these open source platforms, right? So, what do you think is the future of the open source platforms?
Okay. So basically, in the initial starting of script, okay, I connected to one person. You might also knowing. Let me speak his name. His name is Praveen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Praveen Kumar Pushottam is a full stack developer guy in UK. I connected to them. We started some conversations. He understand the point. I understand his point. What he is doing, like he's having his own YouTube channel. Okay, providing free web content, doing a lot of live streams on YouTube. What I've gone through with him, like open source is a vast sector, but we need to think how open source can help a student's future. Someone say like registering open source and adding it on LinkedIn, that's it. We are getting name and fame. I think no. Then why you participating in something like this? Because open source not only gives you name, it also gives you knowledge. The most important thing. If the first open source thing started when I saw Google Summer of Code, that is something more unique from all the open source, even mine open source program, because that open source is something related that we can relate with our open source programs. I can say might be Google can be the first one who has started some open source program, Summer of Code. So in that, what I have seen is like people submit proposals, lot of great organization like Python. I'm not getting the main organization of open source that I've seen. Like Python was there, like one of the organizations, and few JetBrains. I think so. JetBrains was also there. I'm not sure. I've like recently was seeing few organizations. So those organizations was something a dream for a person to work in. That was something like that. Not doing a job, no worries. Open source is you can say some kind of medium. You are working under them, and Google will pay you. When I was trying to register as an organization, so Google told that you don't have to pay anything to us. So People think like how I get paid from Google Summer of Code. So organization does not pay. Google, based on your contribution, based on your efforts, pays you. Okay. So this was the main concept open source started, like a trend, you can say. Then a lot of small communities started open source programs. If I say some small communities last year, I said in Winter of Code, one of the Dev script was there, one was Delta, Winter of Code, IIT Kharagpur, a lot of some like Winter of Codes are there. Eventually, some of codes are also emerging, like student code, and a lot of other. But we had only one problem in one thing, like we are just doing open source, we're getting market, that's it. But there was only also one more problem that I found last year while doing the first edition is like when a student is like just joining in the program, okay, he gets bored after 1 month, he gets bored after 2 weeks. Why? So that's the most important thing. And that's why in this edition we are targeting more on active participation, not on submitting your contributing. Contributing is the one factor, but active participation is also the important factor. For example, if I have get 3,000 registrations, I will like we have got 3K registration and we have like selected 2K plus people. So I want that 2K should do the active participation. If that 2K decrease to 1K, then it is a negative thing. Like what is the main thing that we are lacking? Yeah. So that's how we started few things like we having a lot of doubt sessions, we having a lot of events. Plus, I am planning like personally to have few you can say in networking factor chit chat kind of thing. Might we are planning a channel and a voice channel in which everyone can meet regular basically on basis. He has trying that everyone should connect. Let's connect. Let's talk. We have doubts. We have let's discuss some doubts. Let's have some normal talks. So this kind of thing we will be doing because our main stuff like our main focus is to have some active participation in the open source programs. And open source helps a lot in jobs because open source not only helps in position knowledge, it also gives you practical experience. If you are a beginner, if you are expert, if you're intermediate, it doesn't care. Open source has some kind of you can say proposals we propose to the for the projects. If we get selected, they like a lot of contribution issues on GitHub, or they have created the issues and we start solving it. And those issues are in perspective of the industry. For example, like I'm a student or I am the student of you can say I'm a user. Okay, in that I'm just telling I have just registered an organization and I have selected and I'm just started the contribution. In that contribution, I'm able to see is like there are like a lot of issues which are related to industry. From that line or one line of contribution that we do, we start thinking how this platform is working right now and how my programming will be affecting in the current program. You can I can say in short the industry perspective. So that's the main thing that I think open source programs that Google is trying to create from a lot of years. Now it's time for the smaller organizations or the larger organizations to start focusing on active participation, why they are participating, and students should not register for the name of adding on LinkedIn because at some point of time, due to exams, due to some emergencies, they get like inactive. So we need to make it more active so that they feel it more like more interesting because in the online, like in the COVID, a lot of people are now stressed up. Like I know I need to go offline now because of this. So a lot of things, a lot of challenges we have seen in the COVID time, how it has taken a 360 U-turn from offline to online. This is how we are having a lot of things in open source that I can only say that we should have active participation. We can have this joint good open source apart from Google Source of Code. Don't target Google Source of Code. Like I am in the sense of like Google or Sonoma code you should target, but if you don't select, don't feel like negative, or you don't feel like, don't sad. Like, I don't get Google summer of code, I will not be able to do any summer of codes or any winter of codes. I think like no worries. We are not able to do one time, second time, third time. One day you will be able to do. Okay, because Google has a different perspective of submitting a proposal. It has a very different perspective. It checks GitHub, a lot of things, a lot of factors are there. So I think like go on with open source programs. It's winter, summer, spring. Codes are also being emerging nowadays. I never seen like string of code kind of things. I have seen someone in the country have started this concept, spring, in the springtime. Okay. So I only say one thing, like open source gives the opportunity to network, to give you job opportunities, and to give you experience to make yourself a personal brand. Because in the current times, personal brand is one of the most important like concepts that a lot of YouTubers and a lot of people are saying. Make yourself a personal brand so that if you are going for a job, your personal brand will help you to give that job. Or sometimes what I'm like, due to your because of a personal brand, companies approach you from their end and they like invite you or give you some job because of your brand. So personal branding and these three factors are most important in the open that I think so far.
Awesome. I think this is going to provide a lot of avenues to the students, okay, wherein they can participate in the programs and win a lot of swags. But not it's not about winning the swags, but learning and the kind of exposure that they are
Yes.
getting through solving real-time problems that plays a crucial role. So Jay, this has been a fantastic conversation. Let us lighten up the mood of our audience. Okay, I'm going to trigger a interesting rapid fire round in case if you are ready.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a few interesting questions wherein you can answer them very briefly, one word or two word kind of thing. Okay. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
Great. So let me fire the first bullet, Jai. Given a chance, would you time travel to past or future?
Future. Because
Awesome.
technology is in future.
Yeah, I get
I
it.
want to see how the technology converts in the future era.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Now moving on. Who would you be reborn as given a chance?
Reborn as, I would like to reborn as Elon Musk.
Ah, I know. No wonder. All right. Moving on to my next one. What is a random skill that you would like to learn?
Random skill. Playing drums.
Interesting.
I like playing guitar, but now I'd love to play drums. Like a lot of good sound it gives when we take the sticks and we sit and we do a lot of.
All right. Yeah, that's great. And I am wishing you all the best. Okay, you get some time to learn the drums. And with that, let me move on to the next question. Which celebrity would you like to date with, given a chance?
Okay. Any options?
Options are open. You have all
then
options.
I can go with anyone.
Yeah, you can go with anyone.
Yeah.
Name that person.
What I should name? Not getting it. Like everyone elder than me. How can I name this kind of thing? Like, what should I name? Not getting any kind of names I can say. Like anyone, no worries. Not as a date, I can, but as a meeting them for the first time or just having a friendship kind of thing. I said not like a date.
Okay.
It's like something like I'm just having like a senior generation and a younger generation. This will be like kind of a huge gap.
All right. Yeah, that was a fantastic rapid fire. So with that, let me flip back to the mainstream and ask you one final question for this conversation. So Jay, what will be your one piece of advice to those aspiring to make big in their careers?
Okay. So like I published one quote in one of the magazines in 2019. Okay. So that quote was like I usually say, entrepreneur not only works on idea, solution, money. It should also works on emotions and values. That's the most important quote that I want to say to everyone because I agree that everyone is following sales, marketing, a lot of things. Okay. But values and the emotions are the one of the most greatest perspective which makes a customer behavior or the consumer behavior in a very greater manner. Like for the younger generation, like nowadays I've seen like 19 year students are starting their own startup and they have got funded. Like when I said, see like how Z2 has a 19-year student has started a startup. So like these are the future, I can say. A lot of people have ideas that they want to bring in. A lot of people have ideas to offer, but they don't know how to start. I one day one investor said me one thing. You all people just say that I will do this, I will do that, I will do this, I will do that. You say that if you have the guts, he just literally say those words in the conference. If you have the guts to start it and commit to me, I will give you funding. These are the words, and this was like a challenge because I think like thinking or just interpreting in your mind is not the only solution. To all the younger generation or the aspiring entrepreneurs, India is building its next unicorn ventures nowadays. Everyone is going to be the next unicorn. So if we have to proceed with that in the unicorn race, where we have the largest companies like Zomato, Paytm, Freecharge, these kind of companies are there. Okay, and a lot of new companies such as I've seen like few more companies are coming. Some IT technology solutions also coming in the unicorn race. So in the unicorn race, you just need to one thing like have the guts to start. The thing that investor says because investor thinks your idea is good, everything is good, but what are your guts? Because people start working, but after that they say like I'm not able to do because of the money factor, because of the capital investment. That's the most important thing. That is like in the startup. That happened with me as well. The capital investment in the starting of the script, but sooner and sooner it started in terms of capital. We getting capital. We started something, programs, logistics, everything. So for everyone is like start something that you feel is good for the users and have guts or the confidence to start and don't feel negative because if you feel negative your negative energy will be coming. Just think positive. And because through that positive energy, you'll be getting some motivation. And that motivation will help you to achieve your goals and make your startup a unicorn.
Wow, very profound. Be positive and never quit. That is what I could infer from your message. So, which is really great. Jay, this has been a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your thoughts on the journey of Script Foundation. It is very inspirational, and I'm sure it is going to inspire and motivate many folks out there who are really wanted to make big just like you.
Thank you for inviting me. But I am also looking forward for a lot of young entrepreneurs. I want to convey this whole podcast to them. Like, listen to that and start your own ideas. Because I think everyone is an entrepreneur. Everyone has their own ideas to build. Okay. And I think this is the right time to start with. That's the only thing that I can say to everyone. To all the young generation which are like elder than me or like it's in my age right now.
All right, sure. Thank you. Pleasure hosting you, Jai. So, folks, before we move into the trivia section of today's episode, here is a request to you. In case if you have loved this episode and found it useful just like me, please share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who can benefit from this show. Also, subscribe to us on wherever you listen to podcasts. Not only that, we are also available on YouTube. Thank you so much in advance. All right, without further ado, let's hop on to trivia segment of today's episode. Folks, today's trivia is about open source. And let's talk about the first instance of open source sharing. You might be wondering this open source term might have been coined by the IT industry folks. But the fact is that initially open source sharing was not related to software at all. The very first instance of open source sharing dates back to even before the first computer was developed. Like it was in the year 1911, revolutionary automaker Mr. Henry Ford was instrumental in launching the Motor Vehicle Manufacturers Association. And the purpose of this association is they launched an open source initiative that witnessed major US auto manufacturers sharing technology patents openly without seeking monetary benefits in return. However, if we connect that to the IT world, the term open source was formally introduced during Navigator's source code release in 1998. And over the next couple of days, the term was promoted heavily. And Mr. Linus Torvalds, who is the entrepreneur behind Linux, gave his approval to the term the following week. And from then onwards, this term has been very, very popular, and it is becoming further popular ever since. Interesting, isn't it? That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. There is more in store, folks. Stay tuned. Take care. Be safe. Until next time. Bye-bye. We're signing off for today. See you all in the next episode with another wonderful guest and some amazing topic.